Hi, Guillermo here from Argentina. Let's talk about overblows. I will try to uh, make my diction better. My, my English, my speaking English is not very good. Okay, a note. I'm making these videos in English because YouTube is a worldwide platform, and I I learned from so many people in YouTube. At some moment, I will put links, maybe, and I think I can reach a wider audience this way, and eventually I will put Spanish subtitles for those who from Latin America and Spain, maybe, that that don't speak English. Um, I want to talk about the approach I take with harmonica grammatically, speaking about exercising the specific exercises. The first thing maybe is get used to open the harmonica and adjust the action. There are very good videos about that. Those are links I'll put, maybe, and at some moments maybe I'll do it myself. But get used to open the instrument, adjust the action so you can make the overblows and the overdraws better, and get used to get that the notes you blow and draw and they sound good, and then you're comfortable with the overblows and the overdraws. But the main thing, the main approaches I want to talk about is, for starter, is the octaves. You have the 3 octaves in this instrument, and each octave is completely different from the other in a technical way. And the upper octave is maybe the most difficult at some level, but the first octave is also, and the middle octave also, each in a different way. Because, for example, in the first octave you have these bends, these huge bends that you have to master the specific notes with the bends, and so the two cell and the third cell you have to, in this case I'm using again a G harmonica. This will be a B, blowing is a B, then you have A flat, no, I'm sorry, B, C, C sharp, and D. And if you want to make that C sharp, you have to do it in tune. And also, not just the C sharp, for example, but the C, in this case in the G harmonica, also you have to do it in tune, because you can make it kind of flat. That's what that's what I was talking about in the other video, in my first video, in the intro video. It's not just that you make the band. The band, you have to. It's like the instruments like a violin or the voice. There are notes that move very very tiny, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference in a C sharp. Also, it makes a difference if you make two whole band. When you are playing some music, it makes a difference. So you have to tune, you have to learn to tune in the first octave every note with the bends. That's very difficult in this octave. It's the most difficult thing in the first octave, I think. I had something in my eye. That's the first octave. That's the complications in the first octave. In the second octave, you have all the overbends, all the overblows. In the second octave, you start with the overdraws, and then you have the complications not just of the overblows, but the draw bends. That I think it's very important as the blow bends in the first octave, that you make them in tune, and you have to do them without or learn to do it without effort, because again, speaking chromatically, you think about every note. Every note is important in some context. So if you're not playing blues and not are just using a passing note, you have to do those notes and you have to tune them. In the 10 hole is very difficult. That F sharp, I think it is. It's a difficult thing going to the F and the F sharp and the G. And this is G harmonica in C harmonica. And we have the overbends, the overdraws. And the tone overdraw doesn't go much. So the first octave you have to tune the blow bends. In the third octave, you have to master the overdraws, that they are the most difficult, and the draw bands to do them with finesse, as Howard Levy says in some video, and without effort. So you can play melodies, you can play in any kind of thing not just like a passive note. And in the middle octave we have all the overbends. All this talk about the octaves is because you don't just handle them as an octave thing. You make scales. You make chromatic scales. You make scales, natural scales, and you do arpeggios. And every time you do any of those main things, you have to jump from a position in the mouth that is very different. For example, in a chromatic way, it's not the same to jump from note to note than when you do it melodically, and when you do it as an arpeggio. For example, if you have to jump from a first hole overblow to a seventh hole overdraw, it's a very difficult thing. It's not the same as that's grammatically. And if you do arpeggios, now I will try with the C, the DJ harmonica. I'm not doing it very good, but maybe I should have practiced before. But the thing is, one exercise, for example, chromatically, will jump the notes differently than if you do arpeggios, and differently if you do scales. For example, with the seventh overdraw, it's not the same going drawing and for example in G this would be A flat scale. You go from the A to the to the G to the A flat in the seventh hole. It's not the same when you do, in this case, the A scale, the Ionian scale, the major scale. Because you jump, in one case you jump from the draw, and in the other you jump from the blow. And those are two different things. And you come from other notes before. And that shapes your mouth in some kind of way, and you jump from position in the mouth to another different position in the mouth, and at the same time you have to think about the tune and everything. That's why this is so hard to master. So I think that exercises should be thinking in the three octaves. Every octave has its difficulties. Then making exercises grammatically, making exercises melodically, and then making exercises as arpeggios. And the full 3-octave harmonica, always. That was very bad. I'm practicing. But this is what I'm practicing. I'm practicing these three things, and before and this day I was practicing. They sound good. Now I'm out of tune. I will let them as bad as they are, as to show what is practicing chromatic, diatonic, harmonic. Then we will see different exercises very more specifically. Thank you for watching. See ya.